the old days, if you had a trust, for example, there was, in many banks, there would be a 1% exit fee.
Yeah.
So one is getting out of the bank, and the delays that ensued. In my particular case, it took 7 months.
Right.
To go from one institution to another. So it's painful getting out, and it's equally painful getting in today.
Right.
So,
okay.
So there is that element.
So would it be, so if we because this is really very important question. If we know that the fees that even at UBS have been under pressure, but you would argue that it is not because they are dropping price for competitive reasons. That it will be other secular pressures that are causing that those sort of the effectively the fee rates or the yield on the assets to drop.
Well, I think as a general statement, that's correct. I think that in certain markets and in certain products, there may be a necessity of being competitive. In my days, for example, the lending for mortgages in London was an area that UBS excelled at, and it was known in the market that they were very good at it, and they were competitive. Did they drop their prices out of desire to gain market share, to be competitive, because they had the wherewithal? You know, that's a tactical rather than a strategic issue. Yeah. But I think that the bank as a whole has adopted an attitude of, you know, we are who we are. We price ourselves on the basis of you know, what we stand for and what we can deliver, and take it or leave it. I think that, as you said, the pressures were more were based on other elements rather than just trying to gain market share.
So if you then look at and I've only really looked at these numbers in terms of sort of recurring fee revenues. So I'm leaving out for the moment their margins on lending and so on. But clearly, you know, the for want of a better word, the price of or the yield that they're getting on their assets under management has been under pressure for some period of time. And I know from my reading and also from speaking to other people that, you know, one of those effects was the sort of ending of their ability to charge retrocessionary fees, and so that had to come out of the revenues. But even in if you look in the last couple of years, I mean, you can see it in the last set of results. If you divide recurring fee revenue by client assets, for instance, you can see that the or average client invested assets, you can see that the yield on that assets or the fee rate on those assets is dropping at a quite significant rate, like sort of 5 or 6% a year, and that's offsetting what's obviously pretty robust asset growth, because you've got the markets have been very strong and you've got a bit of net new money growth. So your asset growth is pretty strong, but your revenue growth is fairly anemic because of something that's happening in between. And I'm just trying to understand, is this sort of pressure on price, for want of a better word, just inevitable and just going to carry on going? Or do you see that there's anything that the business can do to arrest that or mitigate those pressures?
Excellent question. I wouldn't call it pressure on price. I would call it pressure on margins.
Right.
But let's start from really the beginning, which is the client. As I said, well, prior to